I don't know this person's name, much less their politics, but what I've gathered from this email that I'm sharing today is that they sought out excuses for former Trump supporters rather than accepting responsibility. Trump supporters regret, if you will. I don't know who the author is, but I definitely hit a nerve with my last video. And by the end of this video, I think you're going to understand why many former Trump supporters haven't found their footing. I can agree that MAGA is a cult. It's absolutely a belief system, a system in which their leaders manipulate them so they can't see reality for what it actually is. Facts can't sway them because these beliefs are their identity. How would you feel if you dedicated 10 years of your life to MAGA? It controlled your personality, the way you dressed, the people that you associated with, your plastic surgery choices. And then maybe you woke up. Escaping this echo chamber had to be tough. Of course, you'd be upset when someone lists a bunch of traits that maggots have that weren't the ones you actually aimed for when you were growing up, traits that most people agree aren't good ones. Of course, you'd be butthurt. These people are part of an identity system in which they're not persuaded by facts because there are alternatives that fit their beliefs. It's beyond political tribalism. With conviction, any information contradictory to their belief system becomes a threat. And that's why they can see Renee Good as being in the wrong, no matter which version of the video they watch or how much the footage is actually slowed down so they can see it. If the facts don't fit their beliefs, their feelings change the evidence. They reject truth as an act of self protection. They aren't going into the world seeking the truth. They're looking to confirm their beliefs because these beliefs, they actually validate their identity. Should they break out of that identity and look back at their behavior, they do have a choice. They can look back and ask, what does this say about me? Or they can decide that MAGA is a cult and that their actions weren't their fault, absolving themselves of the pain of discovering what led them to that identity in the first place. The former is what I hope every former MAGA chooses, but if I read this right, the writer of this email picked the latter, opting to seek confirmation in another belief as opposed to exploring what led them to their beliefs. Without doing the hard work, they will stay in fight or flight. They will stay in that fear that clouds their vision. How can you have empathy for others when you're fighting for your own survival? So here's the email. It was sent using anonymous mail, so I don't know who the sender is, but I do know that my last video really hit a nerve with this person. Writing about the dark truth about Trump supporters since it showed up in my feed. Your video just proved to me that you know nothing, all caps, about malignant, narcissist, abusing, sociopathic, sadist. Study up. Trump's been compared to Hitler and Jim Jones. Google it. Google Trump and Jim Jones. Lawmaker wounded at Jonestown massacre compares Trump to cult leader. Then Google Ivana and Hitler. She tried to warn us in 1990 about Trump being a fan of Hitler. Then go read Stephen Hassan's book, The Cult of Trump. He's an expert on cults. And don't forget to read Mary Trump's book. She's Donald's niece and a psychologist. Thank God I won't have to watch any of your videos again. I blocked you. Thanks to everyone who sent me a coffee or a super chat. If you're subscribed to this channel, be sure to turn on notifications so you can see my videos again. Here, I talk about hard things with a soft voice. We can talk about cults all we want, but avoiding talking about how we got there will have us failing the open book test. Think of it this way. It's that friend who's always in that toxic relationship, then they break up. And they swear they won't fall for the same old, but they don't look inward to understand how they got in that relationship in the first place. And then soon they're in a new relationship and it reveals itself as toxic. Without understanding the why behind what happened, it will happen again. Back in the day when I was in sales, it was really common to go online to verify the lead was actually qualified to buy. And that way, a lot of energy wouldn't be wasted on somebody who couldn't actually afford the product. All of the information was public. Data brokers, they made it really easy to verify details without paying and without even logging in. Can you imagine how much information is out there for somebody who's actually looking to buy it? How does it feel to know that these data brokers are making billions, selling personal information without your consent and destroying your privacy while they're doing it? That's why I want to introduce you to Aura. What Aura does is protect your privacy by identifying data brokers selling your information. I receive commissions when you use my link. In the 2-week trial, Aura will start scrubbing your personal information off of these data broker sites. Don't leave yourself vulnerable. Aura takes care of the hard part by automatically removing your information from these sites and keeping it off. Other services offer this too, but none of them offer as many features as Aura for the same price. They let you know if your personal information is found on the dark web. They give you real-time fraud alerts for credit and for banking. They keep your identity secure with 24/7 monitoring. And if anything happens, they include a $5 million identity theft insurance protection. You can try Aura for free for 14 days using this link. I really hope that you enjoyed today's video. If you'd like to see more, I want you to watch this. I don't know what it is, but YouTube knows what you want. Otherwise, I'll see you next Tuesday.